Okay, so thank you everybody for joining us. I'm hoping this will be a pretty brief meeting. So today we are going to talk about the draft report and vote on House Bill 412. So before we get started on that, just to quickly recap the minutes from last meeting. We heard again from Colin and the applicant group about some items that were brought up in the last meeting. And then we heard again a little bit from a couple of other stakeholders. So just sorry, I'm distracted trying to let everybody in this meeting. So if I could have just a quick motion to approve the minutes, then we'll move on.
This is Kelly. I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Awesome. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, awesome. And then just a quick yes vote. Okay,
Yes.
great.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so now Colin wanted to make a quick statement. So Colin, just a quick little statement, and then we'll get on with the draft report.
Yep, really quickly, just thanks to the committee and the other parties for the discussions on this bill. I just did want to say we are closely considering and examining how we are going to regulate or possible regulation of the behavior technicians. We are seeking input from the 4 other states that currently have regulation of RBTs and have had meetings with a couple of those states already to get their input on that. And we're also in the works of having discussions in the future with the Secretary of State office about how we structure that regulation without increasing the cost significantly. And then finally, we're just committed to ensuring that Georgia citizens are protected through this licensing statute, and we look forward to the legislative process to produce the best language possible. That's it, Anna. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. So I just wanted to say just a thank you to the applicant group, but then also the other stakeholders on robust discussion for this bill. I think this is kind of the best use of this committee and kind of what we do, how we look at bills, and gives it a different lens than the legislature. So I hope that it can be a help to the legislators as they kind of move this bill forward. So I just wanted to kind of make that statement. So we took all of the comments from all of the interested parties, even the ones that came in this week, and put together a report that kind of went through the background of what's currently done, what's done in this other states, and then what has been proposed in the actual LC of this draft. And we did make comments about the concerns and around the technicians and that sort of thing. So we made note of that in our report. So so all of that being said, we put all that information together and then looked at it from the lens of what GORC is statutorily required to do, whether the unregulated occupation may harm, endanger the health, safety, and welfare of citizens, and if it's a recognizable, tangible harm, whether the occupation requires specialized skill, and will the public be benefited by, continuing education? Are the citizens currently or could be affected by means other than state regulation? The overall cost, effectiveness, and economic impact, whether that be positive for the state, and then whether there are means other than state regulations to protect the interests of the state. Those are the things that we are statutorily required to make comments on or make findings about, and then thus put a recommendation out. So using those framework, we came up with the following findings. So the unregulated practice of applied behavioral analysis may harm or endanger the health, safety, and welfare of citizens of this state, with approximately 1,112 licensed eligible individuals practicing applied behavioral analysis in Georgia. Citizens of this state may be harmed by the practice in an unregulated environment and the lack of consumer protections in place. I'll pause there and say that we also point to the report that there are 4,000 some odd technicians that are not currently license eligible as is currently drafted by this report. We do make reference to that. So this finding points to just the ones that are license eligible. The practice of applied behavioral analysis requires specialized skill or training. Behavioral analysts and assistant behavioral analysts must meet certain education requirements and attain certain degrees, undergo supervised training, and pass an exam to achieve the certification by the Behavioral Analyst Certification Board, thereby meeting licensure requirements laid out in House Bill 412. The citizens of this state will be best protected by state regulation of behavioral analysts. Citizens of Georgia will be protected from malpractice by regulating behavioral analysts practicing in the state. There are no means other than state regulation to protect the interests of this state. State regulation of behavioral analysis is the only way to protect the interests of those receiving treatment in the state. So those are the findings that we came up with. So again, I've made reference to the fact that our findings are against the draft that we have received, which currently only shows the license eligible as behavioral analysts and assistant behavioral analysts. So there was discussion in the committee or the council that we would want to have a recommendation that would not be just a clean yes, no, but would allow for there to be some attention drawn to the fact that there's nothing currently in the bill as it relates to technicians. So what I guess I'll just kind of put it to the council with that sort of framework to see, do we want to take a motion up around kind of what I've just been rambling on?
And I've reviewed the report, and I would move that we adopt it as it's
Okay.
drafted.
Okay, thank you. Can we now get, can we have a motion on what a recommendation would be? Whether it's to approve with certain additions or proposed additions?
Hey, Anna, this is Kate.
Yeah.
I would move to approve the recommendation, but I would move to approve it with the additional recommendation that behavioral technicians be also covered by the board as well.
Okay, so let's take up a recommendation, a recommendation that the bill pass, but recommend that the applicant group work with the legislature to address the accountability and supervisions of the technicians, which would allow the bill to move forward, but allow language for, however, I don't want to tie the hands of the legislature here in how, whether it's going to end up with full regulation or sorry, full licensure or just regulation of these technicians. So I think that gives our indication that something should be done in regards to the technicians, but doesn't tie the hands of the legislature so it can bake out through the process. So to sum up,
I apologize. That's sort of what I was driving at. And I recognize that we don't have that legislative discretion here, and that there's a purview of the General Assembly to hash out those sorts of things. So I apologize that I fully support that as you've described it, that we would allow it to be moved forward and recommend those considerations.
Okay. So I will take a motion to pass report with that recommendation. Is there?
Then if you'll allow it, I'll make that motion at this time.
Okay. Great. Is there a second to that?
This is Kate. I'll second.
So because we are voting on a report, I'm just going to go roll call. So OPV, I vote aye. Stephen?
Aye.
Okay. Megan, are you on?
I'm on. I'll vote aye.
Okay. Kelly?
Aye.
Okay, Sam, were you able to join? No, he was traveling. Okay. Kate, you seconded it, but I'll let you vote.
Aye.
And then, do we have Department of Ag? I thought I saw him join. Yeah, Bo, there you are.
Yeah. O. Warren's here and we vote aye.
Okay. And then do we have, Senator, do we have the senator on? I don't believe I see him. And then, Representative Earhart, is she on? Well, we have enough, so the vote passes on that. So seeing that we are up towards a holiday weekend, give us until Tuesday to have a final report on the website and sent out. Hopefully we can get it done sooner than then, but just bear with us. And we'll have minutes posted by then and then the video posted by then. We are not going to meet the next scheduled meeting, but we may have another calendar item to discuss on October 6th. So I will make sure, I will send smoke signals and do everything to make sure everybody is well in advance aware of that meeting, if it's gonna, but it is currently scheduled and what will be. So thank you to all of the participants in this. I really appreciate good, healthy, robust discussion. And if anybody has any questions for me, please don't hesitate to reach out. But again, I appreciate everybody's work on this. I'm glad we had a short meeting this time. So that's all I have.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone.